welcome everyone to welcome everyone to Tuesday, RSL Active's West Coast Health Alliance round 3, their third round this year, and the first session in the round. Great to see all your lovely faces back, and yes, I am back from Sydney, so it'll be a little bit less strenuous for the sessions, but it's always good to see where you are with the challenges. So it's great that you guys all had to go. All right, so close down your eyes. Let's arrive on our mat. Inhaling. And then exhaling. Loosening your shoulders, your jaw, and grinding your sit bones in, maybe just wiggling around a little bit. And we'll look internal, taking the tip of your gaze, to the tip of your nose, sorry. And then just taking some inhales and then noticing how the quality of your breath is. Inhaling through the nostrils and feeling the air come in, going all the way to the bottom, all the way down, belly breath, feeling your lungs expand as it comes up, all the way to your clavicles. And then hold, pause, and then just open your mouth and let it go. Continue doing this in your own time for the next few moments. It's now that I'd like to sort of put a couple of affirmations to set the tone for our practice today. The first one is, you are enough. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Simply being here and by showing up as you are is enough. Strength isn't always about striving for more. It's about recognizing the worth you already possess. Trust in your abilities and know that you're more than enough. And the second one for our arrival is own your story. Your journey, with all its highs and lows, is uniquely yours. Own it, share it, and let it inspire others. There's strength in vulnerability and courage in showing the world who you truly are. Your story has the power to change lives, starting with your own. I ask you now, let's do some collective inhales and start conditioning our breath. Keeping your eyes closed, looking down. Inhaling through the nose as you start to take your gaze up. Closing your head. And then exhaling as we exhale through our mouth. Down. Inhaling through the nostrils as we take our gaze up. And then exhaling as we exhale down and move our head down. Inhaling the same again on the way up. This time closing your mouth and maybe engaging your ujjayi breath, which is breathing out through the nose while you place the top of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Keep going in your own time. And then seeing if we can get that ocean sound, that slight aspiration in the back of the throat that creates that raspy feeling, like you're putting a shell to the side of your ear and listening to the waves crash on the beach. Coming back to neutral now, open up your eyes. Beautiful. Let's start now just with getting the side and somatic tapping by leaning your head to one side, getting your fingers in, and then tapping on the side of the head. All right. We might bring this down to the front of the chest. I'm a big fan of somatic tapping. I find that it just releases a lot of the tension that can build up over there, especially sleeping on the side at night. And I reckon I slept funny on this side last night, so I can feel it. Now getting ready to cup your hand and then take this down the arm on the side. And then last bit of tapping again before we switch hands. And I think I needed to turn this onto silent. All right, so keep going with that, guys. The tapping. My bad about the... there we go, that's on silent now. There we go. Now ready to wake up the hands. All right. Cool, because it's a full moon, we're going to just start to release some energy, and in a moment we'll start standing up once we've done this. All right, loosening the hands. Let's just, yes, the flicky flicky. No, Lindsay, you know, like, is that how you do it when you get your water? Like when you flick someone, you know? No, that's the way. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. All right, let's do our little Popeyes. Hands out, rotating. Maybe we could just go over and just feel the rotation of your shoulders. All right, excellent. Yeah, we can stagger it so you don't say hello to your neighbor. All right, up, inhaling, and then exhaling, engaging our, yes, inhale again, and then pulling our hands apart. You might feel that sensation of your shoulder blades kissing. Beautiful. Shake it out. Inhaling. Inhale. And then pull the hands apart. Yes, feeling that tension in your shoulder, in your forearm, sorry. Got to get my anatomy right. One more time, inhaling. And then pulling apart before we make our way to standing. All right, you can make your way to standing any way you wish, and we'll meet here. Continuing on with our breath work a little bit. I want to add a couple of little things here that we might not have done before. The first one is the breath of joy, which is our 3-part breath where we kind of flap our arms and then shake it off going down. So I'll give the first demonstration. All right, so it's the first one. 3 breaths in through the nose and then on the way out. So let's just do it slow for the first few. We'll do 10 and then we can start to speed it up around about 5 or 6. So inhaling. 1. Looking up. Waking the body up. 3. 4. This is a great detox as well because it comes right from the belly. 6. 5. Was that 5? 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Beautiful, excellent. So let's just shake that out. This next one I'll demonstrate from the side. So what we want to do is have your feet flat so we can rock backwards and forwards, and then place your hands with your fingers in like this, and then maybe we're going to give a slight tuck to our tailbone, and this is kind of what they call khalibati breathing, right? What we're going to do is we're going to exhale through our nose and then pull in with our belly and then just naturally let the air come back in. So it looks something like this. So your tummy's coming in and you're breathing out through your nose at the same time. Ready? So let's do this. Let's do, well, I'll count to 50. Ready? 10. 20. 30. 40. 50. And then inhaling. as we stand and then come down. So both are very energizing breaths, and then really work on detoxing our core, but it helps to start moving that energy, especially if we've had a feed. You don't want to be doing too much after a feed, but especially when there's been a lot of energy around and pent up, so we can meet that energy beforehand. All right, so starting from the start, it's now perhaps, your left hand is going to go behind the back, like this. And then you're going to lean your neck over and just do some yes and no's. Just to do one last final stretch on the neck. Don't forget that you can engage your ujjayi breath at any time. Coming back up, let's switch the hands. Reaching for your back pocket and then leaning the head over. That's the way out, and then maybe loosening our trunk in a slight different way, so you can use your toes to pivot. So yeah, that's it. And just loosen the hands and let them go as we're needing. Perhaps then you might want to add looking over your shoulder, so then you can see. Excellent. All right. Slightly different ways to be able to warm up. Now we're going to be warming up our trunk, so maybe a little bit wider stance. And then we're just going to do some circles here. It's like we're going to be warming up for a PT session. All right. Didn't I tell you we're doing the run as well? We're doing like a 5K run. Okay, switch back around the other way. What I want you to look out for here is just seeing and feeling for your hip ball rotating in the sockets of your pelvis, right? The ball in the socket as it goes around. All right, cool. So let's start now, and we'll hook into some of our Surya Namaskar A, or our sun salutations. Come to the front of your mat, please. All right, looking, and we've got now, again, as always, is just feeling our feet, maybe feet slightly wider. All right, pulling the toes up and then feeling the tendons go underneath. So placing some stillness now. Equal weight on our balls of our feet and then our hips. Again, slight tuck of our pelvis. Arms out in that natural position without forcing. Mine feel like they're out in that sort of V shape. Slight tuck of the chin. And then imagining that we've got a long line between our heels and the crown of our head. Inhaling. Arms out and then up. And then exhaling as you swan dive, arms come out. Bending it, hinging at the belly. Think belly to thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need. And let's just stand still here for a moment. Perhaps now you might grab your elbows and then just rock from side to side, allowing the weight of your top half of your body to lengthen the bottom of your spine. Right. Perhaps you might want to give some yes and no's. So then we're not holding on to anything from our head to the neck. Coming to some stillness now. We're going to grow tall again, all the way. Inhaling. Through the middle. Continue the inhale. And then down the center line. We're going to do this 2 more times before moving down to the ground. Inhaling. Exhaling down. But we're adding our halfway lift. So we're going to inhale, flat back, flat shoulders, bookshelf. Exhaling, bending the knees, shrinking down 2 more times. Inhaling. Bookshelf. Exhaling. 1 last time. You can actually fly your arms on this one if that works for you. Reaching for the back of the room. And then exhaling. Hands will meet the mat. Step back to our plank. Beautiful. We'll all meet in plank pose. Butts down a little bit, tucking the shoulders. Yes, maybe we could rock backwards and forwards, feeling our toes, and then the weight come over our hands when our shoulders are right underneath our hands. Inhaling, let's all do knees, chest, chin for the first one. Inhaling, knees, and then chest, chin. Untuck your toes. Inhaling, pushing back for baby cobra. Exhaling down. 2 more times, inhaling. Exhaling. Maybe higher each time you go up. Inhaling. Exhaling. Tucking your toes, getting ready to push up. Inhaling. We're pushing the ground away through the knees and then pushing backwards and up. Taking our gaze to your feet. for your first downward facing dog of the practice. As it's the first one, be a bit gentle. You could always back off if you need, and perhaps if you're seeing the insides of your feet, or you could pedal your toes. If you're seeing the insides of your feet, you can rotate your ankles out a little bit. Alright, just coming to some stillness now. Alright, bend your knees as much as you need. You don't need to have them down. So think belly to thighs and pushing the ground away. Yes. Excellent. Right, from here, inhaling. And we're going to now take lots of little steps on your tippy toes. Taking the weight up onto your wrists as you come towards your fingers. Your wrists, sorry. And then we're going to meet in half in forward fold. Growing to halfway lift. Inhale. Exhaling down. And then inhaling all the way up to the top. And then exhaling. Closing down the eyes. I am enough and I am present. Inhaling. Hands back down. Opening up the eyes again. All right, let's do this one a little bit faster. We'll do 2 more rounds of Surya Namaskar A. Inhaling. Exhaling as we now swan dive, hinging at the hips. Head's the last one to go. Think belly to thighs. Inhaling. Halfway lift or flying the hands. Exhaling. Hands come down, meet the mat. You can step back to plank or jump back. Whatever works best for you. We'll meet in our plank position. From here, butt down a little bit, Lindsay, that's it. Inhaling, shift your weight forward. This time you can choose knees, chest, chin, or lowering down under control all the way. Untuck your toes, hands are facing the front, elbows are by the side. You can choose to up dog or cobra, whichever is choice. Inhaling, cobra is where your hips are touching the ground. Up dog is where you're on the toes and your hips are off the ground. Whichever one works for you. And then from here, you can start to roll over your feet or then take it over your toes. By adding some different ones here now into our downward facing dog. So shorten it up a little bit there. Now, there we go. Bend your knees a bit. Yeah, push your hands away. There we go. All right, beautiful. So from here, inhale. Five breaths. Yes, I'm just going to do a bit of a, so you're pushing there. There you go. There you go. Bend your knees. Yes, doing well. No, that's it. That's it. Yep. Tail up. Yes. Push the ground away with your hands. Looking at your feet. Yes. Looking at your feet, Lindsay. And rotate these out a little bit. Rotate you a little bit. There we go. There we go. Yes. There we go. Looking from one line. And it's better to have your gaze by your feet. Let's hold stillness on 5. Mark, your form is excellent there, mate. Looking good. From here, we're going to take a deep bend in your knees. And then you could step or hop to the front. Take lots of little steps. From here, inhaling, halfway lift, exhaling back down, and then inhaling all the way, growing tall, hands, and then down the center line. I just wanted to show you something that quickly, guys. So when we say lots of little steps, there's a couple of different things which will be preparatory for like handstands and stuff, and this helps you load up your shoulders as we're coming up. So when you do your deep bend, there's a hop or step. When you step, imagine you're pushing away with your hands and then you're still pushing your tailbone up, and then you'll feel that you've got weight on your hands. That's preparation for handstands or hand balances. Then you could step up here, belly to thighs. The other way is if you ever hear the word hopping, bend in the knees. We're hopping, we're placing out, see my shoulders? So we're placing the shoulders forward and then gently hopping down before the other part of the movement. So that's just learning to stack your weight over your shoulders so that you don't injure them. Okay?
Can you do that one again? Sorry.
Okay. The hop?
Yeah.
Absolutely I can. So from here, we're folding. Deep bend of the knees. And then so the hop, you could do small hop, but you're leaning your weight over first, right? See that? Yeah. As it's over, my shoulders are there, then it's hopping to the front. Some people go right up and down. I'm not right quite there yet, so I'm just showing you where I'm at, but where the mechanics is of putting your weight on your shoulders so you don't injure them. All right, let's do this one again before part B. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhaling, hands plant, step back. Push up position. Beautiful. Inhaling. Weight forward and then exhaling down. Untuck your toes. From here you can then inhale, upward dog or cobra. If you're in cobra, this is where you can roll over your toes. You push your butt back and roll over the toes and then find your way. Or you could just push back through your knees, tuck your toes and then push back. Couple of different options now that we're introducing to you. So it's yogi's choice, however you feel on the day. Pedaling your feet for a moment and then coming to rest, pushing the hands away. Right, pushing the ground away with your hands and then feeling like you're gripping on your fingers really gives that sense when you're looking at your feet that you're really going from the tip of your fingers and making one long line to your tailbone. Inhaling, try this right now. This is the next one, stepping up now. So walking or hopping, whatever you choose. We'll meet in forward fold. Inhaling to deep bend in the knees. And hopping or walking up, meeting halfway. Yes. There we go. Beautiful. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling down. Inhaling all the way up. And then down. Hands down. Alright, there we go. Have a quick drink. I'll start ramping this up a little bit, hey? Might have to have the block handy as well soon. Beautiful. All right. Surya Namaskar B. We'll be only doing one of these today, which incorporates Warrior 1. So into our chair pose, inhaling. And then exhaling, chair pose, butt goes back. We're going to lift our arms up. And then look to the sky or take our gaze to the sky without dumping on our neck. Beautiful. For 3, for 2, for 1. Keeping your feet where they are, inhale. And then exhale, just hinge from your hips. Think belly's going to come over your thighs. Now stretch the back of your legs. Release your head. Yes. Forward fold. From here, inhale. Bringing your arms to your legs. Halfway lift, exhaling down, and then stepping back to plank. Yes. Inhaling, exhaling down, chaturanga or low push-up. Untuck the toes, inhaling. Cobra. Exhaling, curling over your toes into downward facing dog. Are you okay, Lindsay? There we go. Yes. From here, inhale, lift your right leg, bend your knee, push away with your hands, and then bring your knee up to your elbow and bring your right foot behind your right hand. Yes. Wherever you are, let's start with our feet now. Bring your back foot in where you need to 45 degrees, where it feels okay, bending the front foot. From here, we're setting our position, inhaling, pushing off the front foot, squeezing your butt slightly, chest, yes, excellent everyone. Bending the front foot a little bit more, inhale. And then exhaling, push into the back foot while simultaneously reaching up for the sky. One more time, and you'll feel that. From here now, inhale. We're hinging at the hips now, meeting our hands back in front of the foot, stepping your foot back. Right, from here, inhale, exhaling. You do not need to do a chaturanga every time. You could go back and do your cat-cow and meet us in downward facing dog. Inhaling. Okay, so that's always your choice. And then exhaling, rolling over your feet. I love it. To our downward facing dog, yes. Shorten your stance, Mark. Shorten it up a bit, mate. Yeah, there we go. Left foot's the one that's rising. Inhaling. Left foot, the ones that rise. Bend your knee. And then exhale, bring your knee to your elbow. And then put the foot down behind your left hand. Now shortening up that back foot. 45 degrees. Yes. From here, we're going to inhale. all the way up. And then exhaling, pushing the ground away and reaching for the sky. Beautiful. Yes. Inhaling, exhaling. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale. We're going to hinge again. Hands come down by the feet. You know where we're going. All right, there's the oohs and the ahs. All right, there we go. Inhale. Weight over our wrists and then exhaling down, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog or cobra. And then exhaling, rolling over your toes. And then down. Beautiful, meet and downward facing dog. All right, from here, okay, we're going to inhale, deep bend in the knees. And then we could step or hop to the front. And we'll meet in forward fold. Yes, wait for it because we're coming to our chair. So from here, we're just lifting and hinging into our chair. So inhaling, lifting to the chair. Yes, keeping the feet the same. From here, inhale, squeeze the butt at the top and then down. Beautiful. Excellent work, everyone. All right, so I just wanted to show you a couple of the different options now, transitioning from our push-up to our from our push-up to our, so I'll turn over this way too for you, Lizzie. All right, so we're here in our cobra. So the difference between cobra, hips are down, shoulders are back, shoulders are down looking up. Our hips are on the ground. The difference is now cobra, between that and up dog, is that we come onto our toes. So it's a little bit more of a stretch on the front hip flexors, shoulders are back still. Now, two different ways. So when I say mention roll over the toes, is then you're like pushing your butt up, like you're coming back in. Again, you're taking your weight over your shoulders. And see how my toes are still being stretched? I'm flexing over the top of my feet. Then I can adjust my feet and then push back. There's another way to do it. This is a bit more advanced, but just showing you anyway as we're working towards it, is coming over simultaneously, flipping over. Okay, or there's no right and wrong. You're here. You could go tuck in. And that's also a great way to be able to do it. Whichever way. Now we're at that stage there where it's more options for you depending on how you feel for the day. All right, let's just do it one more time because I reckon it's pretty cool to do the, so this other bit, feeling for the change. So we're in forward fold, right? We're bending from here. No, I'll show you, right? So I'm showing you. We're bending, so we're just focusing on the bend, keeping the feet the same. But when we come up to our halfway lift, then we come up to our halfway lift. Right, so here, bending, and then we'll feel that is the last part of the movement, and then halfway lift is the extension of the back. So it's just like a car coming out when you're changing it from bloody over the top to cabriolet. You know, it's like a transformer. All right, so let's have a look at that. Beautiful. Okay, feet, hands, inhaling. And then exhaling, pushing the butt back. Now we're gonna, yes, reach forward. Yes, maybe inhaling. Maybe we'll get a little bit lower this time. Yes, for 3. For 2, maybe lift your toes up. For 1, inhaling. Ready to move, we're rotating and think belly comes over your thighs. Hands meet the mat, then push on your heels and then stretch. Feel that stretch in the back. You don't need to stretch them all the way. Think belly's on your thighs. It's there. Now let's halfway lift, inhaling. All the way, halfway lift. Exhaling to shrink back down to our push-up position. Now you could shoot out or step back, whichever works for you. Push-up position. Beautiful. Inhaling, weight goes forward, and then exhaling, lowering down under control. Forward hits the mat, toes untuck. Your choice now, inhaling, up dog or, yes, up dog or, geez, I don't know. Bloody hell, cobra. And then you can roll over and then change your feet to our downward facing dog. Yes, that's the way, Lindsay. Excellent. Yes, Nerina, Mark, amazing. All right, so let's just take our feet slightly wider, everyone. And then if you can see the insides of your heels, rotate your feet out, pushing your hands away. Right foot's the one that's going to lift, inhaling. Three-legged dog, bend the knee, and then shift your weight forward, bringing the foot to the front, behind our right hand. Left foot then goes to 45 degrees, setting the base for our warrior one stance. And then we inhale all the way up, yes. And then inhale, and then exhaling, pushing the ground away with our feet and reaching up for our hands, yes. One more time, inhaling, and then reaching and pushing. Last one, we're hinging. Inhale, hinge, hands, foot, plank. Beautiful. Inhaling now. And then exhaling down. Remember, you could always do cat-cow, cobra or up dog, inhaling. Exhaling now, rolling over the feet, downward facing dog. We will meet here. Take your time. If you're in downward facing dog, let's see what your breath's like. So this is the opportunity to check in on your breath. Inhaling, left foot up. Left foot bends, and then exhaling, bring your left knee to your left elbow, then drop your foot behind the hand. Yes. Adjusting the right foot for 45 degrees. Ready to come up. Inhaling. Grow tall a little bit more. And then exhaling. Push the ground away evenly with your feet. Yes. Bending your front foot a little bit more, Lindsay. Yes. Inhaling. Exhaling. Pushing the ground away. One more time. Inhaling. Ground away. Inhale. Exhaling down. Foot comes back. Ready? Steady. Inhale. Exhaling. Down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhaling as we come, and we'll meet in our downward facing dog for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhaling. Deep breath. Ha out. Inhale. Last one more time. I want to hear it, everyone. Inhaling. Okay, this one's slightly different now. We're going to inhale our right leg up. 3-legged dog. Once we all meeting here, bend the knee, and let's just create some circles with our hips like we did right at the start. Feeling for that ball and socket. Forwards with the knee, and then backwards. Maybe you might feel your arms. All right. Foot comes down. Knees come down. We're going to alternate a little bit and then come up, because that's a fair bit of work on the arms and the upper body. All right, are you okay? We will meet you in a moment. All right, from here, inhaling. What I want you to do is now do a bit of a zombie on the way back. Lean back. All right, and then come forward. Untuck your toes. Hands down. Okay, inhaling. Zombie back. Right hand's going to come back, and maybe we're going to locate the back of our foot. And then we're going to bring your hand back over the top. Come back up to... yeah, you got some sweat happening, everyone. Inhaling. And then we're leaning back. And then perhaps we might get our left hand and touch the foot. Prepping for camel. Coming back up and then down. You're feeling the stretch on the front? Excellent. Yeah? No? Okay, inhaling. And then we're just going to lean back. Lean back. It's all right if you're not. That's fine as well. And then we can just reach back. The idea with this, coming back up and hands, is so that when we do camel, some people really try and bend their back too much, and then it compresses the lower back. So here, well, I'll show you in a moment. We're going to do the left hand. And then we're going to lean back, the zombie stretch, and then leaning the hand. All right. And then back over, back up, and down. When we go, it's a back bend. So camel pose is a back bend. So when we're doing that, sometimes people will say, pushing your hips forward, and that lower back really bends. So if you start here, and then I can reach, then I can push my hips forward without compromising the back. Or from here, then doing that. But that's a bit later on. Okay, so now we are here. We've had a little bit of a rest. We spoke about this morning when I went to my private practice, and the teacher was like, oh, I need it to be all squared off and like that, you know, dressed off properly. I'm the same. All right, so let's come to our hands and knees. Inhaling now. So what we're going to do is inhale and then come up to our downward facing dog, only for a moment. Only for a moment, Lindsay. Right leg lifts, inhaling. And then we're going to bring our foot to the outside of our right hand. There we go. Right, yes. Now bend your knee. You can drop your knee to the ground, untuck your toe. Lizard pose. So our foot is by our hand. Right, and then now what I want you to do is just maybe shake from side to side. You can shorten your grip there. Yes, excellent, Lindsay. Right, so what we're doing is just feeling now. You can push back, toes up. This is all called intuitive. Right, sussing it out, loosening up your hips, feeling for the bone. Now plant your left hand on the ground. Plant your left hand on the ground. What I want you to do is just bring your right and just maybe come on the blade of your foot and just push your, not the knee, but the thigh outwards, and maybe you might roll onto it. Yes. All right. It's a nice opener. Perhaps you might want to open up and reach back like this and then bring it to the front. Maybe we might come forward and back, lift the toes, push back in a half split. Come back to the front. Inhaling. Maybe you might want to bend your knee this time. Maybe you might touch, I don't know. That might work. Hand comes back over and then back. It's all Did you get a cramp? Oh, are you okay? Oh, okay. So we'll meet. I shouldn't be laughing. All right. This is all interactive, everyone. Okay, so we'll start off with come back to our lizard. And then we'll see. Maybe you might want to try again, or you could just reach over like that. Perhaps you might want to bend. If you can grab. And then this one here really stretches out the hip flexor and our chest. Right, maybe you look up instead of looking to your hand. Right, looking up. A bit of a challenge. Let go of your foot under control if you've grabbed it. Hand comes back over. Beautiful. From here, okay, think about tucking your back toe, and we're just going to push your heel back, inhaling. And then exhaling, pushing your heel back. Yes. And then from here, right hand's going to lift up and twist. Easy twist. Exhaling down. Going to now move our left foot to the outside of our left hand. Ready? Inhale. And then exhaling, left hand into our squat. Yes. Yes, squat could be up, squat could be down. Yeah, excellent work. And then what we're doing is we're just swapping. So let's place our hands back down, and then we're just going to swap our right leg going back and then knee down. Yes. Everyone we're like yogi flowing now. We really are. That's awesome. So from here, perhaps just intuitively feel for your hips. This is a good way to really lubricate and stretch your adductors, which is that sort of tendon between your hips and your leg. Maybe push back and pull your toes back as well for a little bit of half splits. Coming to some stillness now. Weight goes on the right hand. What we're doing now is maybe we'll look over. Don't worry about the foot just now. Changing lanes in the car. Sweeping a hand back over. Beautiful. Perhaps now you want to put some weight on and then just push the outside foot. Yes. And see what that difference is there. Perhaps you might notice that IT band or the outside of the thigh feeling a bit of a stretch or a bit of something. That's where the sciatica lives. Right. Shoots down on your IT band. Coming back to some stillness now. Maybe we might reach over this time. Maybe you might want to bend your foot and touch it this time and then come back over. And then pushing back, half splits, toes back. Yes, push the ground away. Yes, excellent, Mark. That's the way, Lindsay. Yep, that's it. Now coming back to our lizard lunge. You know the third one, where we're going. All right, inhaling. Coming over, perhaps you might want to then bend the knees locate the foot, and then look up. So you could be on the blade of your outside foot that's bent. Alright. Coming back under control. Hand comes back to the inside. Beautiful. Just taking a rest here for the moment. You could push back. Tucking your back foot. Prepping so that we're going to stretch it out. Inhaling. And then exhaling now. Push back. Yes. Lizard lunge, but we've got our... And then left hand's going to come up now. All the way up for our easy twist. For 3. For 2. For 1. Inhaling. Hand comes down. So this time we're going to now, you're going to come and be facing that side of the mat. Back foot comes in and we're going to rotate around so that both feet are facing the long edge of the mat. Beautiful. Yes. Okay, excellent. Put this here. Okay. Inhaling now, hands on hips, and then exhaling, coming up to stand. All right, feeling those hips, having a feel for your hips. All right, let's hook into our prasarita or our wide-legged folds. So we'll do 2 today. First one being our pistol grip. So we're going to pistol like we're shooting a pistol, and then we're going to use what they call peace fingers around the big toe. So from here, get your peace fingers ready and your pistol grip. Inhaling, shoulders come back like they're being squeezed together, so you're trying to hold a 50-cent coin in there. Inhale, and then exhaling, hinging at the hips, stop halfway. Inhale, exhaling, using your hands, grab around your toes. Inhale, and then exhale, push your elbows out, and we're just pushing against your toes, loosen your head. Yes, you can bend your knees as much as you need. Elbows are bent, yes. Right, so you're pushing your front toe on the top, and then you're trying to push your tailbone towards the sky. Shake your head a little bit so it's loose. For 2, for 1. Hands off the toes, hands on hips, inhaling all the way up. And then shaking it off. This one's a little bit different now as we inhale. And then bring your hands behind your back like we're at ease, standing at ease. You can clasp your fingers. Perhaps then you kiss your shoulders together or squeeze them together. All right, this is pushing down. Try not to bend your neck too much. So wherever it feels comfortable, inhaling. And then exhaling now, we're hinging at the hips. Keeping your shoulders squeezed together. Stop halfway. Then release your head, and maybe your hands might have that sensation of reaching up towards the sky. I'm going to look at you. For 3. For 2. For 1. From here, inhale, and then exhale like someone's pulling you up by your hands until you're back up the top. Inhaling up. Adjust your feet so that they're facing the corners of the mat. And then exhaling now, bending, dropping down to our God, Goddess pose. All right, you might want to feel, yes, no, sorry, the kids are into that, the Indian version of that song. Inhaling up, exhaling, cactus arms, inhaling one more time, and then cactus arms down. Inhaling up. What I want you to do now is you're going to keep the foot, your left foot is the one that's going to bend. So you're going to bend and start to shift the weight over there, and you're going to pull your right foot toes up. Hands could come down now. All right, a little bit. Open your stance a bit more, Lindsay. All right, legged stance. All right, we can open up our stance a little bit more. All right, this is high side lunge. Inhaling. You might then want to perhaps touch the ground. If you're touching the ground, perhaps now you want to just touch your toe to the floor and then roll it up. And then feel for your hip socket rotating around. Yes. Excellent. What we'll do now is take that foot down, and we're going to walk your hands across to the other side. Bend that leg and then pull your toes up on your other leg. Yes. Beautiful. Side lunge. And then rotating around. Toe taps. And then you're doing this intuitively in your own time. Don't forget to breathe. Yes. All right. One last one. Now we're going to bring that down. Bring our hands together. Hands on hips. Inhaling. Coming all the way to the top. You're stepping your right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go back down to the ground, eh? Okay. So from here. Maybe we'll try a little bit of a different one. And feet slightly apart. Inhaling. And now we're going to go down into our squat. You could be high up, you could be low down, whatever works for you today. Right, we're on our heels. From here we're going to inhale, chest goes up, and then exhale, round and reach. Inhaling up, perhaps your elbows come in to pull your legs out wide, and then reaching. Inhaling up, and then exhaling, round and reach, tuck your head. From here, now we can grab our hands and then walk back. That might test. All right, excellent work, everyone. Right, let's grab a couple of little options. All right, from here, it's going to be follow me. We're going to do a few twists. So you just mirror my legs, right? So, yeah, the same. So your right leg is going to come in underneath. Yes, and then we're bringing your bent knee leg up. So then maybe we're going to give it a bit of a hug just to feel that both sit bones are kind of grounded, but then we're going to come out of it. Yes, excellent. We're going for a twist. So I'll demonstrate first. The first one was where, then we'll actually, no. This is the reach forward one. Sorry, I forgot. I lost track for a moment. Hands are going to come down and you're going to come off your sit bone. From here, we're going to reach forward, and then maybe you might want to then just tuck your hand behind the foot, like this. Okay? I'm going to give that a try. Okay, so from here, place your hand, and then maybe then we're going to sit up straight, and the tail and one of our sit bones comes off. Right hand comes up. What we're going to do is inhale, and then reach forward, pushing away with that supporting hand. From here, now turn your arm around, and perhaps it might hook around. Yes, just there, hooking it, and then using the hand in support. Then from here, inhaling, chest up, and then exhaling, release your head. All right, inhale, exhaling. See where the air goes on this. Inhale, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Slowly come out of that. Beautiful. And then switching sides. Some ones that we haven't done too many of these before. So it's nice to be able to come in. So we've got our foot back, and you can bend your knee as much as you need. This foot comes back and it's straight. So maybe let's try again. So we're going to feel that we're sort of sitting down on the sit bone. Yes. Hand comes down to support now. Inhaling, hand comes up. And then reach forward. Once you can't reach forward anymore, maybe then you hook your hand around a little bit. And this is the prep work you can bind later on. I don't quite have the bind myself yet. But inhaling here, chest forward. And then exhaling down. Seeing where you are. Perhaps you're feeling a stretch in the back body. You might be also feeling some compression in your tummy. See how that feels, where the air goes when you breathe. One more time. Slowly coming out of it as we inhale. Unravel. Hands come back. Feet come over. And let's just maybe floss. One at a time. Over. And then down. Yes. So over and then down. Again, feeling for that hip. For your hip. All right, the camera's right there. So hello boys, there we go. Anyway, being silly. Okay, this is where we can do this. This time, your right leg's stretched out. Beautiful. And then the foot's coming in wherever's comfortable for you. Yeah. And we're doing a bit of a twist now for this time. So this hand where the knee's bent, so it'll be your left hand, will come down, yes, just in prep for support. So from here, inhaling, hands up, we're going to round your back and then turn over. Perhaps your hand comes over. If it's not, you can grab the hand here and twist over the shoulder. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful. Inhaling, exhaling. One more time, inhaling, exhaling. Coming out of that, under control, switching feet. Other foot out, pulling your toe back. Give it a bit of a hug. So yeah, so there's two options. If your elbow goes past, you can turn like this or hand up. But sometimes it might feel funky on people's elbows. So you could actually, same thing as you can hug you and pull your knee in. There's two options, yeah? Okay, inhaling, hand comes back to support where the bent knee is, so that's your right hand. Inhaling, foot comes up, foot, no, hand, and then round your back and reach across. Perhaps it hooks over, perhaps it comes up. So instead of leaning, you want to have a tall, yes. So less lean, but tall, and that sometimes might mean less twist, but that's okay as well because we're keeping the right form. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale to come out of it. Hands. All right, now bring your feet up. Lean back. Hands might go there. Left leg raises. And then right leg raises. Right, boat pose, half boat. Chest up, Lindsay, that's it. 3, 2, 1, down. Okay, which one? That's a couple of these. Beautiful. Flossing. Back to some stillness. Again. Hands out. Shoulders up. Gaze up. Inhaling. We're leaning back a little bit like a zombie lean. And then, yes. Legs together. Yes. 3. Or you could rest. 2. 1. Down. And then let's now inhale and allow yourself to come all the way down to the ground. Still got a couple of minutes, so let's do a couple of twists here, starting with our figure 4 twist. Left foot's the one that's going to raise. So from here you can close your eyes now if that feels comfortable for you. And just allow yourself to feel your shoulders on the ground and the whole back on the ground. Left foot is going to be the one that rises up and then crosses over in a figure 4 onto your right leg. Perhaps you might feel that comfortable by pushing your thigh away gently. That's not necessarily because we're about to twist. So from here we're going to inhale. And then the foot that's figure forward, we're turning to your right, and then trying to see if we could land the foot on the ground, but keeping your shoulder on the ground. So keeping the shoulder on the ground is more important than landing the foot. Right? And then perhaps with a couple of breaths, naturally, yes, excellent work. Perhaps then you might want to look over your left shoulder to really get the most out of the pose. Whichever way, level 1, 2 or 3 works for you today will be the right one for you. Inhaling up, foot comes down. We're going to do a little mini bridge just to loosen the back. So inhaling and then exhaling, pushing our hips up, squeezing the butt for a mini bridge, and then coming back down, feeling your back and the vertebrae roll down one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling your right foot up and then creating a figure 4 with your right leg onto the left thigh. Push away if you feel the need to. Inhale to prep. And then exhaling is rotate around. Perhaps your head comes over, yes. A couple of different options with the supine twist. That's the name that you might hear. So it's a supine twist. This is figure 4 or recline pigeon. Supine twist. Don't ask me to say what the yoga name would be for it because it would be pretty long. Inhaling back up. And then leg down. And then from here, the counter pose, maybe inhaling. And then lifting our thigh, our hips up. And then down. Before, take any last intuitive movements you might feel that you need to. Before closing your eyes down, stretching your legs out into Shavasana. I'll just turn off these lights for a couple of minutes. Taking your internal gaze to the tip of your nose and allowing yourself to get heavy. It does. Hey. 10 minutes. Yep. Yep.
Oh no, he was punching away, but that's how long ago.
Circling back around to the theme of today, you are enough. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. By simply being here, showing up as you are, is enough. Strength isn't always about striving for more. It's about recognizing the worth you already possess. Trust in your abilities and know that you are more than enough. And our second affirmation of owning your story. Your journey, with all its highs and lows, is uniquely yours. Own it, share it, and let it inspire others. There's strength in vulnerability and courage in showing the world who you truly are. Your story has the power to change lives, starting with your own. Start to come back into your body. Perhaps start wiggling your fingers and your toes, rolling your wrists or your ankles. Perhaps you might want to stretch overhead. Pull your knees in for a hug. Flossing's also good. But before you come to our easy seat where we'll meet to finish off our practice, just roll onto your preferred side for a couple of last wakeful breaths. The last of the session, but the first for the rest of the day. And we'll meet in our easy seat. Taking our hands in prayer between our chest to clarify intent, thumbs to our lips, peace be in speech, thumbs to between the eyes, dipping your chin slightly more. Peace be in thought. Thanks for allowing me to guide you through your practice and for taking the time to invest in yourself, for coming down and doing some self-care. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.